Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Steam Train. It is a beautiful, sunshiny morning, and I am super excited about what we're going to do today. My name is Mr. Dorian with New Minds, and let's go ahead and see what's in our supply bucket and get started. Okay, so it looks like we have one big piece of construction paper. And if you don't have one big piece, that is A-okay. We're actually going to attach two small pieces and you'll end up with the same project. I also have scissors, glue, markers, crowns, some tape, and a pen. All right. So I know that not everybody is going to have a wall that they can put all of their projects on. I know sometimes you have limited space and you have a small work area, but you want to keep it organized. Today I'm going to teach you how to make your own folder that you can keep all of your supplies in. The only new piece of construction paper you're going to need is the one you're going to use for the main folder, and you can even use two smaller pieces, but the rest of the folder is actually going to be put together with our scrap pieces of paper from our scrap bucket. So I'm going to be using this bucket a lot. I'm going to set it on the floor because it's a little busy to be on the camera. But to turn this from a big piece of paper to a folder we can use to organize our work and keep it all nice and neat and put away, first thing we're going to need to do is make a simple fold. I'm going to go ahead, fold it in half like a hamburger. Now the reason I folded it this way is because now it is a little bit bigger than a normal piece of paper. So if I take something that's paper sized off of our wall, like for example, our tessellations lesson we did, and if you didn't do this, check it out on newminds.tv. We have all of our awesome lessons up there. But if you didn't do this, you can go ahead and put it inside your folder, and when you close it, it will be entirely put away. And that's the cool part about this, is you can fill it with all of your awesome projects. They'll be organized, kept safe, and all in one place so you know where to find them again. I'm going to go ahead and put this back on my wall, but the first thing you need to find is one big enough piece of paper, or you can tape two smaller pieces of paper together, and then you can end up with two different color sides. Just make sure you tape them along the seam, one on the front, one on the back, and you should be all good to go. I'm going to put this back on our wall. We don't need it for today. Now that we have our base to our folder, we're going to need something to stop the sides from falling out. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take some scrap paper, one that's pretty long. I have this light blue piece, and my page is already blue, so this kind of works out. But I'm going to take this long piece, and it needs to be longer than the folder side. Not the long way that opens like a book, the short side that has holes on both sides. And we're actually going to seal these up. But the first thing you need to do is take this page, lay it on top, and mark where it ends. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to mark a line across. And now I know This is the piece I'm actually going to need, so I'm going to cut the bottom off. What this is going to turn out as is basically an edge to our folder. This edge to our folder is going to fold around and make sure things don't fall off the side, so if we tip our folder, nothing flies out. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut this into thinner pieces. They don't need to be any bigger than an inch. If you don't know how big an inch is, you can use this part of your finger, your knuckle, to your first knuckle. And you can lay it down and be like, that's about an inch. Do a line. If it's a little bit bigger than an inch, that's fine. These two don't have to be the same size. As long as they're the correct length, you're A-okay. And then I'm going to cut these into thin strips. There's one. There is two. So now I have my two thin strips. And these are going to make the edges of my folder. I'm going to fold them in half, just like this. And actually you're going to want to cut a little bit off the bottom. You're going to want it to be a little bit shorter, and I'll tell you why in a second. Just a little, about half an inch, even littler than that. Just a little cut. What we're going to do is we're going to glue these around the sides. But you notice the bottom doesn't line up all the way? This is because this is where the fold is. Where the fold is going to need some more room to open up a little bit. So put it on as snug as you can to the corner, and then slide it out about halfway. And that's where we're going to glue it. If you glue it further out instead of snug on the folder, so I moved it out a little bit, it's going to open up more and you can fit more things in it. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to add some glue to the edges of my folder. I'm going to do one side at a time. Put all the glue on the folder first, then stick the first side on. I remember when I'm gluing, I'm going to hold it down and count to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now I know it's stuck on for sure. And then I'm going to do the other side. Since the fold's already there, I'll know where to fold it over. I'm only gluing on the folder. Make sure you don't glue on this extra space you're going to have. Otherwise your folder will just be stuck closed. So I've glued on my folder. I'm going to fold it over and count to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now that it is glued down, I'm going to put a piece of tape just to be safe, because this is going to get a lot of movement. I'm going to put one on the top and one on the bottom, just to make sure my folder stays together. The tape isn't necessary, but mine's going to be filled with a lot of projects because I've done every STEAM train. So I'm going to go ahead and make a nice and secure, extra strong folder. I'm going to do the same thing on the back, and then I'll show you what we have so far. Now I have a folder that opens on two sides, just like this. There's a little hole in the bottom, but when I open it up, it actually can fold a little bit and fit a little bit more. Now this is just the building part, but we're going to have to do decorating. This is our folder. It's going to have our work in it, our ideas, and all of the things we need. So it's going to need to represent us. So when we decorate this, we're going to think of the things we want, the things we're going to have on the front, and all of those awesome things while we're putting the other side together. I'm going to put the other side together the same way, so I'm going to go a little bit quicker. While I'm doing that, be thinking about what you want to decorate this with. Do you call it the STEAM Train folder? Is it going to be your folder used for all of your schoolwork and the STEAM Train? What are you going to use this folder for? And how do you know it's yours? Those are the things you want to think about while you're putting it together. I'm going to go ahead and make the other side a little bit quicker now. Fold it in half. Cut a little bit off. I'm going to glue on the folder. And stick the edge on. It's looking pretty good. Hold it down, count to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now I need to do the back, and then my folder is almost done. Glue it down, put the lid on my glue. Hold it down, count to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome. Ooh, almost there. Now that I have it glued down, I'm going to add my tape just for some extra security on both sides. And then I will have a beautifully made folder for my work. And the reason we made the edges a little bit wider, so that way we know that our papers will definitely fit inside. Last piece of tape. And now I have this amazing folder. When I open it, there is a hole at the top, but all the sides are sealed up so nothing will fall out. Now this folder can go a couple places. It can go on a wall like ours, where you just tape the back side and you drop things into it. Maybe you just set it on your desk and it keeps everything organized. Whatever you want to do, this folder is going to hold a lot of awesome stuff. So let's go ahead and decorate it. Mine is going to hold some of my steam train work. I'm going to put it on the wall. I'm going to put some things in it so it'll be a nice full bucket. There's a good space for it right here. So I'm going to go ahead and write the steam train on it. So I have wrote the steam train on it in big letters. I'm going to draw my face so people know it's my folder. There we go. And now I'm going to add some different things. Now the steam train actually stands for something. S, T, E, A, and M are all different knowledge places. S is for science, T is for technology, E is for engineering, A is for art, and the M is for math. So I'm going to draw something that represents each one. So the S for science, I'm drawing a test tube with some bubbles in it. Just like that. The T is for technology, so I'm going to draw a super awesome robot. There we go. I have my awesome robot. The E for engineering, I'm going to draw an arch bridge because I think those are super cool. And remember, this is my folder. I'm drawing it how I want to decorate it, but you can add all sorts of stuff to yours. You can add sequins, glitter, decorations. You can pull out all the stops and have an amazing steam train folder. Now I'm on the A for art. I'm going to draw a paintbrush. There we go. And then the M for math, I'm actually going to draw an abacus. And if you don't know what that is, it's those things with the colored beads on them that people used to do math a long time ago. And now I have my folder. Now, of course, I have a backside that I can decorate another day, or I can leave it plain if I want to. But this is my amazing steam train folder, and any project I do, I can put in here. This was another real inspired learning with New Minds, and thank you guys for tuning in with us. Keep practicing your passions until they become your talents, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.